A very good day to everyone. My name is Juita Mohamad. I'm a Senior Analyst here at the Economics Division of ISIS Malaysia. Today I'm going to be talking to you a bit about the budget that was being presented last week. My focus will be more on inclusive growth, which was highlighted as the main theme of the budget 2016. So let's take a look at how this year's budget will promote inclusive growth for all in Malaysia. So I will divide my discussion into 4 different points. The first one I will be looking into the education sector. The second one, I will talk a bit about GST and also income tax relief. The third one, I'll be talking about the increase of minimum wage in both Peninsular Malaysia and Sabah and Sarawak. And lastly, I will talk a bit about subsidies and handouts, particularly on BRIM. So let's first talk about education sector. So even though to date Malaysia has more or less combated extreme poverty to now close to 0% from the whole population, we still have a big problem in graduating from this developing nation status to a more developed high-income nation status by the year 2020. So what is actually needed here? Apart from a very good education system, we also need a more concrete technical and also education training, and this was actually highlighted by the Prime Minister in last year's budget, whereby he introduced or created the term Technical Vocational Education and Training Program. He mentioned that last year the private sector is supposed to be leading this initiative, but up until today there's no concrete plan being presented. And with 41.3 billion set aside for education, it is very timely that the government needs to look into a concrete proposal, not just for our education system, but also for technical and vocational training. So let's move on to GST and also income tax relief. So the good news that comes out from this recent budget is that there are more tax reliefs being highlighted by the government. And what this means is that there will be more disposable income for not only the rich, but also the bottom 40 and also the middle 40 group. But the government also has to keep in mind that even with these carve-outs, the rich are likely to be spending less of their income if compared to that of the other income group brackets. So even if GST is a blanket for everyone, we can see or we can anticipate that it will impact the bottom 40% more negatively than that of the top 20% of the population. So let's move on to increased minimum wage. The Prime Minister has announced that the minimum wage for Peninsular Malaysia will be increased from 900 ringgit per month to 1,000 ringgit per month, and this excludes domestic workers, maids at home. So this again is very good because incomes are increased, so then there will be more productivity coming out from there. But at the end of the day, we have to ask if there is compliance. So we have to go to the ground and see if employers and firms are actually implementing this minimum wage ruling in their own firms. So again, compliance is the main issue here. So the next point I would like to highlight is subsidies and handouts. Just like other budgets, a couple of budgets before this, BRIM is still intact. And as we all know, it is a one-time cash transfer. The effectiveness of BRIM, however, is very much questioned. There is no monitoring. There is no research as to how it is effective in alleviating poverty and in helping middle-income groups with their daily expenditures. So we need to make BRIM a more permanent social safety net with more monitoring, and we can look to our neighbor in Japan, where unemployment assistance is being given out very strictly and monitored continuously. Or we can look at the other high developed nation like Sweden or Denmark. So more research needs to be done on this issue, and hopefully whatever is highlighted by the budget will be implemented on the ground in Malaysia. Thank you and goodbye.